There is something that I haven't really shared publicly. The day when I told a client that I was dyslexic and they ghosted me, like literally. I've been working with them. They're kind of like for a while. We're talking a couple of months, regularly, once or twice a week when needed, things like that. And we started building up this like rapport feeling again, our man, everything was just kind of like, it felt ideal. And then just conversations, we were just having conversations and the topic came up. I can't even remember exact how it came about. And I just shared that I was, and it felt, when you like you tell someone something and it's an instant shift, that feeling. And I didn't really read too much meaning towards it. I just thought, okay. And then and with again, it kind of like fell towards like the end of the week, and normally they would message me and say, okay, this is like, oh, I think I had one, and they had to say, oh, we had like a training and they rescheduled, and then I never heard back. They never contacted me, and boy, did that hurt. I felt like, oh my goodness, like deja vu again, because when I was in my training, I was told I couldn't be one. And I thought, yeah, done the work. I'm now to like go and say, yes, I'm gonna be that interpreter, did the work and everything, and then when this happened again, it felt like, oh, here's evidence of really I shouldn't be doing this. This is not. And then I felt embarrassed. I felt like, not good enough. It really played on my mind for the longest time. Because then always like soon after, towards the end of the week is when I tend to like would work with them, and they would like reach out to me at the beginning of the week and nothing happened. And you could see things were going on and things were still happening. Yeah, my self-worth went down the drain for a while. Like it impacted me, it impacted how I saw myself. It's like, my goodness, like how am I going to pull through in this industry if I can't truly be myself? It made me very like, I became very guarded, very like, I didn't even tell colleagues, or I didn't want to say anything. And I felt like robotic, very like wanting to prove myself and always acting as if, or there's something that I had to like, became like I was performing in a way, and it was really draining on me because I was always on. I was always kind of like, and it was one of those things like when I'm on the job, I'm like in it because like I had to prove myself. I had to show that I am like I'm capable, but I still can't say. And and I was taking jobs and doing things that I know that were aligned that I could do and like I could manage with the tools. Still, I wasn't my true self. I wasn't authentic. I wasn't that because of that impact and because of how much regard I gave these people, because they were so rooted in the like like the trueness of the language. Like, and I loved that. And I was learning so much as a new interpreter at the time. I was just like just basking in that, the energy. And even though deep down it didn't feel right, so in a way it was great that that happened. And then fast forward when that massive thing, the whole world, we had to shut down, everybody had to like be indoors. And in that process I was doing the work for myself, had gone and done like some coaching training. I became a law of attraction coach at a time. And when I did that, I wasn't necessarily, yeah, I could be a coach, but I did it for me at the time. I was really doing like, I was physician healed myself in that moment, like big time. And, doing all this work on self, and I could see the change. I could see the things that are going on. And I was like still doing my work. So many things, I have so many layers. And you will see them out and about, like, over here in London, the deaf world is just so small. You see them about, and nothing was said, nothing, I didn't go back like, oh yeah, do you want, we just knew, like how you just know and just let it be and just move on. That's what it was. COVID came, and then, I started showing up online. I really wanted to start sharing this thing that how I am, and I'm seeing other people. I'm thinking, man, like I'm on the other side now. Let's go. Let's do this. And then I'm there sharing online on Instagram, and then I'll put stuff in, and people were like, Nene, did you mean to say content? And you said context and like stuff like that. And I'll go up and like delete the post, and I'll just like I became overdrive, like, okay, check in. I'm like, okay, let's that it became like, no, this is now becoming hard work. This is now becoming like not who I am. While I'm out and about and like have this persona that yes, I'm the interpreter and like this and that, like I got it like down. And I had to come and be true to self. And this is where we need to like become, because like, and the beauty about like neurodiverse people is like the uniqueness, the flavoring, the things that we bring to the plate. And in the other hand, we're made to feel the shame of, oh, you're that, so no, you're not. Or you need support, help. Why are you coming here to do this? Kind of like notion and all those things. But when I got to the point where, you know what, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna like put this thing out there. My loved ones were like, oh my goodness, won't this affect your work? When people see this, they wouldn't want to use you anymore. Remember what happened last time and like all those things and how it affected you. And I just thought, you know what? I would rather it be out there, let people know, and the people who truly value me and know that like I've seen my skill and are using me, know that there's nothing like what's the difference, you know what I mean? And I posted that thing. And it went out there. I was like, okay. And then I got a message. Oh my goodness, me too. Oh my gosh, I didn't know you were. And like this and that. Like, yeah, I've put this front on. Like, this is what that is like. Oh my goodness. Oh, you are like, it felt like the permission. Like somehow I just gave this thing of like, it's okay. You can be this and not this all. And that was like a tippy toe thing. And started just sharing, talking about it and like how, and that started transferring into the field. And then not that every job I went, like, yeah, I'm your dyslexic interpreter, so let's go. Where do you want me? Kind of like thing. It wasn't the case. When the opportunity arose or whatever it is, I would share that I was, especially if I was co-working with a colleague. I started finding that sometimes when I initially said I was, you know how you need the thinking processing? People now think like, okay, she'll take over. I'm like, babe, I just need to think. I didn't say I I said I would lean in when I needed a help. I would say stuff, not like it became like they felt they had to carry and then just start stepping in. And that not even made my belief in self like lowered, like, oh my goodness. Like every time I shared, I felt, ooh, okay, there's part of me that doesn't feel capable. And then I started acting and being in that way. And especially when like they would now want to take charge or now want to do whatever, that yeah, then I started like, okay, no, we don't need to say all the time. We need to read the energy. We need to read, like, get to know people and then share and still hold our grounds. Because at the end of the day, there are what, 8 billion people on this earth. Not everybody is going to want your services. Not everybody is going to want what you are offering or like you. Not everybody are like. They're like, there's some like, as long as we understand that y- you are it. Like you work on that identity of self, love self first, build on that muscle so that if someone comes in and says, "Oh, you're that," oh, I don't know, it's on them. Next. Who's the next person I get to work with? I get to interpret for, I get to like show up for. So that when you're sharing and someone doesn't take it as you imagined or as you viewed it, it's on them. It's not on you. You're anchored in yourself. You're anchored in your belief and yourself. So over the time, even though I shared it, there was still that element of, yeah, yeah, but like the little nigga, like, yeah, right, and it's a constant work until you get to that point of like grounded, like this is who I am. Like I am anchored in what I do. I have like when I'm in, this is the kind of places I roll and shine. There's certain jobs I can't do because one is just overwhelming, stressful in the sense that it's just too tasking for my brain to process. So why would I want to like put myself in that kind of like sense? Like it got to a point I was trying to prove myself. I was doing every job under the sun just to say, yes, I can do that. Yes, I am capable. Yes, like you're in the field, you have to like have this progression and get to this point. And it got to the point like, you know what? I want me peace. This is kind of jobs I enjoy that brings me joy. I want anything that I'm like, like tensed up. And then I had to understand that this is not me limiting myself and this is me just honoring myself. Because there is that blurred line, because sometimes you feel like, yeah, I don't want to do that because like da 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 because and it's a case of like we're not really putting ourselves out there to optimize what we're capable of. We're just hiding ourselves. It's understanding and having that knowing. So going back full circle with this startup, out of the blue, I got a message. Nene, are you available to do this job? We're like, we need like blah blah blah. And it was just, and it's one of those things kind of like, oh really? Now you want me to come and interpret for you now after what, how many, all these years and all these things. And they were like doing something that I enjoyed and it wasn't going from a place of like, I'll show you now what you missed out on. It was just kind of like your loss. I was so grown. And in that job, after the whole thing I did, and it wasn't kind of like, yeah, I show you now, kind of like thing. What they were doing, I loved. And I was able to showcase it. I was able to align and feel into the thing they were doing. That they were like, oh, okay. Do you want to like, I'm like, yeah, I don't do that anymore. I don't do that kind of work anymore. It doesn't bring me joy, so I ain't doing that. And we've done a couple of other things together. But having that full circle moment of like, uh, you do know I'm dyslexic, kind of like thing. You still want me? It wasn't a mention. And I think this is where we need to anchor in who we are so that the whole of us shows up. And regardless of the opinion of people, regardless of what feedback we get, or if we're not their person, or they don't feel that we'll be able to like showcase them, whatever. And again, I might have been leaking energy of saying that, yeah, I don't think I'm trusting of self or whatever that is. But that really made me go into my shell back then. That really affected me. And this is why I always say it's not really about the skill. It's about who we are. How I saw myself back then, how I was like really putting myself forward. That when it came back, then it was anchored in herself. Like, yeah. And to be able to then, like, yeah, you're here for the skill, and behind that skill is this is who I am. And then I'm like showcasing that. That's why it's so important to do the work that is required to have that solid belief of self, solid anchored, that when people give you feedback, when people say stuff, you take what's like, okay, and then realize, no, that's not my truth. That might be your opinion, it's not my fact, it's not who I am. And then you're able to then kind of like take it from there. So when someone says stuff to us, let's get anchored in who we are. Let's get rooted in our beliefs. Let's get like really solidified in what we're doing. And this is why, coming up in the new year, creating a space, a workshop where we start workshopping like this, all these different things, because the skills we got down, loaded. Now let's build on the identity of self. Let's truly understand self. Once a week we come together, we workshopping and start building on that thing. And if you want in, if you want to be part of that, I'm contain a waiting list now. It's a free workshop. We meet weekly. That's just my giving. Me doing this for the next like quarter or so. Because I truly believe that I want this to be message to be out there, because a lot of our colleagues feel like, oh, I just need that one more training. I just need to do more this. I just need to do that. Get this certification on that and that. When truly they can just step back and really look at like, how are they showing up? Like, what package are you bringing in for self? What knockbacks is someone saying that is now kicking you off for six, and then you're now like, where do I stand? Let's come in and workshop together. Start working on different areas, because when we have the awareness, that's when we not, when you know better, you do better, right? Like when you have this awareness of like, ooh, like I always have this self-doubt when I'm about to, like, I second guess myself. I hesitate every time I see this person, and this person gives me that vibe. Like I hide. When we have that awareness, and then we start doing the work, doing the reps to like really anchor our self-identity, those our skill now shine. Our skill now just like it's there, and then people can then start like, yes, her, him, them, let's go. Get rooted in who we are, in the becoming, so that we can fully step into our role. Till next time. Bye for now.